Hi, this is Annabelle Pan. Welcome back to my channel. And here today, I invite Dana Samuelson. He is the president of American Gold Exchange. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Annabelle. It's great to be here with you. I appreciate your having me on.
Thank you so much. As of today, 1 ounce gold has hit 3,567. Gold price is at all-time high. Can I ask you, why does gold have intrinsic value?
Well, gold has intrinsic value that goes back to ancient times, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago, for the following reasons. Number one, it was scarce to find. So it was hard to find in the ground. So there wasn't much of it. But when you could find it, number one, had that great yellow color, which no other mineral has or no other element has. Second, it's impervious to the elements. So no matter what you do to it, heat it, try and hurt it in any way, hit it with a hammer, it's impervious. So it survives. You can put it into salt water and it won't corrode in the ocean. And number three, it's malleable, which means it's easy to make it into things like coins or jewelry. And we have ancient coins today in gold that go back 500 years to 500 BC rather, right? So 2,500 years. And King Tutankhamun, King Tut's burial mask from 2,500 BC had 22 pounds of gold in it, which shows you how the ancient Egyptians valued gold way back then. So it's scarce, it's impervious to the elements, and it's malleable, which made it ideal to make it into a coinage, which is a unit of value that you can trade with someone instead of bartering, milk for wheat or something else in ancient times. And it's retained that value ever since in man's eyes.
I see. So this is why gold could last for the last 5,000 years, right?
Right,
I
right.
see. I see.
Continues
Okay.
to this very day.
I know. Yes. Even in the model day, we still love gold, and the gold price is still hit all-time high. Yeah. May I ask you why gold hit at all-time high, especially this year?
Well, there's a couple fundamental factors that have been driving gold for years. And then we've got some new additional factors that have come into play in the last couple of years that really matter. So number one, we have debt. The world is awash in a sea of debt that just continues to become bigger and bigger. 10 years ago, the US had $17 trillion in debt. Today, 10 years later, we have $37 trillion in debt. 10 years before that, we had $7 trillion in debt. So every decade, our debt has more than doubled. So will our debt become 74 trillion by 2035? We don't know. But the debt just keeps growing, number one. Number two, following the great financial crisis, we had a major shift where central banks around the world started buying gold in earnest, which they hadn't done for 50 years, since the 1950s, 1960s for the most part, because of the debt and the explosion of debt following the great financial crisis. Well, once Russia invaded the Ukraine in 2022, and countries around the world saw that we could use the dollar as a weapon against Russia, and we seized their assets, and we threw them off of the SWIFT international bank payment system, countries around the world said, well, if they can do that to Russia, they can do that to us, meaning the US. Now, there is no viable alternative currency to the dollar because the dollar is embedded in the world's financial systems. So what have these countries done? They've decided to buy gold to have an asset that is internationally recognized, can hold a high amount of value in a compact, small space, and be easily transferable and easily sellable. So central bank gold buying has doubled in the last 3 or 4 years, which is material. And it started to really make a difference last year in the price, because the cumulative effect of all this central bank buying started to impede the supply a bit. And now they're buying a third of what the mines produce on an annual basis. So that's another very big fundamental factor that's come into play. In addition, we have 2 wars in the world, Russia versus the Ukraine, which has been going on since 2022. And also we've had Israel and Iran fighting each other directly for the first time, which is new this year. Now, that is not happening right now, but just because they've stopped fighting doesn't mean that war is over.
Right.
Each side still has plans to, number one, Iran make nuclear weapons, and number two, Israel stop them from making nuclear weapons. So that is not over in my mind. So geopolitical conflict or uncertainty has helped to push the gold price higher, because gold tends to climb a wall of worry. It tends to go up in price when people are uncertain about what may come next. It's the ultimate currency of last resort. And then, of course, we have all the economic turmoil that President Trump's tariffs are bringing to the world trading platforms, with, all the countries now have to pay tariffs if they want to import into the US. So that's creating a lot of uncertainty as to how trade will flow, how payments will flow, how the economies of the world will do. And that's helping to buoy the gold price as well. And on top of that, with regard to the US in particular, we have a weakening US economy now, and a weakening US jobs market, which means the Federal Reserve may lower interest rates.
Right.
And gold does not pay a dividend or a yield. So when interest rates are higher than the rate of inflation and you receive a positive return on the yield that you get from a treasury, or the money you put in a CD, or money you loan out to a worthy party, gold doesn't normally do well in that environment because it does not pay a yield. And there are some minor carrying costs. You have to store gold somewhere safely. You might have to insure it. So it costs a little bit to hold it. But when interest rates go down, or the dollar goes down in value, that makes gold more attractive, because now it has less competition and it tends to be more desirable, because most of the gold around the world is bought and priced based in dollars, but it's bought outside of the US. So when the dollar becomes more valuable relative to other currencies like the Japanese yen or the Chinese yuan or the euro, it makes gold more expensive in those currencies where most of the gold is actually purchased around the world on an annual basis. But when the dollar goes down in value, like it's done this year, it's down about 10 or 11% compared to other currencies. That makes gold more desirable in other currencies because it becomes less expensive, and makes it a bit more attractive. So all of these factors are coming together, in the same place at the same time. And it's very unusual to have more than one or two of these happening at the same time, which is why gold is hitting all-time record highs right now.
I see. So since all the factors coming together, this is why push the gold price all-time high.
Correct.
Okay, I see. So do you think this trend will be continue in the long term, like 10 years?
Yeah, these are big trends. So how long, we don't know. And 10 years is a long time, right?
Yes.
But our debt is going to keep getting bigger and bigger, right? That's number
Right.
one. Number two, central banks are continuing to buy gold at near record rates, not quite as fast as they have the last 3 years. But in 2025, we also have the highest gold price we've ever had. So the amount of money or currency they spend to buy that gold buys a little bit less gold, which makes sense that they're buying a little bit less this year because we have a higher price. Those two factors I think are going to stay in place. We have 2 global conflicts. We don't know how long those will continue. We have President Trump is going to be in office for 4 years. We don't know how much his tariffs are going to disrupt the global economy. Could make it weaker around the world, which would make gold more desirable. So I think these trends are in place for at least another few years, if not potentially longer. But right now, the trend is your friend, and it doesn't pay to try and go against the trend. The
Right.
trend for
Yes.
precious metals is higher for both gold and silver.
I see. So, if we want to invest in gold, what options do we have? How we invest in gold?
Well, there's basically 3 different ways you can do this. Number one, you can buy the physical ounces of gold or silver. Now, I'm a physical dealer, so we deal in the bars that refineries make and the round bars, we call them coins, that the sovereign mints make, meaning government mints like the US Mint, the Canadian Mint, or the Austrian Mint. So when the manufacturers make the various products that we then buy from the manufacturers and sell to the public. So that's one way you can own physical precious metals. Another way you can do that is you can buy an exchange traded fund or an ETF on paper,
Okay.
which harnesses the price movement of gold. So you can buy GLD, which is a gold ETF, or SLV, or there's a company in Canada called Sprott that has several different precious metals funds you can buy. And this is a way to harness the price movement on paper. It's not the same as owning physical gold, right? But you
Yeah.
can own gold price movement on paper. A third way is to buy the companies that actually mine the gold out of the ground, mining companies. So you can buy their stock. And the theory is if they have a fixed cost at $2,000 an ounce and the gold price goes from 2,500 to 3,000, now their profit is double or triple if it goes to $3,500 an ounce. So their stock price should go up higher and faster than the gold price by itself because they get some leverage. But when you buy a mining company, you're buying the company that's actually mining that from the ground. Do they run a responsible business? Number one. Number two, how good or how high quality is the deposit that they have in the ground? Do they have a good deposit or maybe not so good deposit? So how much time and effort does it take to get that gold into a usable, sellable form that the marketplace will take? It's how much refining has to be done. And then you also have potentially country risk. Like, what country are you in? Is it politically friendly or is it potentially unfriendly? You know, I'm friends with Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You know Robert.
Yes.
He had a gold mine in China. And when he discovered gold, the Chinese took the mine from him. They literally took it from him. So he lost it. And that's about as big a country risk as you could have. Right? So that's what I mean by country risk. So when you own the physical gold, you control it. You have possession of it. You have something that doesn't have counterparty risk, meaning its value is not contingent upon another side of that transaction having to perform, either to pay a mortgage, pay a note, or a company having to produce a profit for the stock price to go up and down. You actually hold the physical asset. That's what I specialize in. And that's what I think is the best way to own gold. But there are other ways you can own it as well if you want to own it on paper, either via the ETFs or the mining stocks.
I see. So I have one question. Like regular people, when they purchase the physical gold, how they put to store the gold? Where should they put to save it?
Well, you want to have it someplace safe where you
Yes.
know it won't be stolen,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number one. You want to have access to it
Right.
also, because that's part of having the gold, is having access to it. So most people would normally put these ounces of gold or silver into safe deposit boxes at your bank, which is
Oh, yes.
traditionally been a safe place to put valuables. But some banks don't want you to do that anymore. They're actually writing that out of the charter. The good news for gold is that it's very small. It doesn't take up a lot of room to hold a lot of value. So you can hide it in your house somewhere
Oh,
if you
okay.
want to. Now that's up to you.
Hmm.
whether you feel safe about that. But you don't want to be the only one that knows where it is in case something happens to you. You don't want your family not to be able to get access to it or know where it is, right? We
Right.
also have some professionally run storage facilities that we recommend around the
Hmm.
country. There's 3 or 4 around the country that we recommend where you can bring or ship your gold to. Well, they will store it for you.
Oh, okay.
These are professionally run, independent facilities that this is what their business is, to store
Mm.
valuables for people, and you'll pay usually about a half a percentage of value on an annual basis for a storage fee. Now, if you want to
Hmm.
get your metal, you can have them ship it back to you at any point in time you want to get it. There's one in Las Vegas that we recommend. There's
Hmm.
one in Delaware that we recommend. There's one in Dallas. And there's a couple other places around the country where you can store independently with professionals if you want to.
Oh, okay. That's very good information. Yes. Okay. So how about the silver? Do you think the silver price is undervalued?
I do think silver is undervalued today relative to gold in particular. If
Hmm.
you measure how many ounces of silver it takes to equal 1 ounce of gold in value, you simply divide the gold price by the silver price. Today,
Hmm.
that ratio is about 85 to 1. 85 ounces of silver equals 1 ounce of gold. And if you go back over 25 years, that ratio has typically been between about 45 to 1 and 80 to 1, with
Hmm.
about 62 to 1, the middle point. And today
Okay.
it's over 80 to 1 at about 85 to 1, which means silver, it takes more ounces of silver than it has typically for the last 25 years to equal that 1 ounce of gold. And when you have gold at an all time high and
Yes.
silver is still 20% below its two
Hmm.
previous all time highs, that tells me that silver is, lagging
Yeah.
gold in price at this point in time. But I do think silver will play catch up, and it could do so pretty easily the way the market is shaping up right now. In fact, in the last 3 weeks, since Chairman Jerome Powell of the U.S. Fed said that
Hmm.
they may lower interest rates, gold is up about 5%, but silver's up 7 or 8% in value. And I think silver could continue to outpace gold in appreciation in price the way the current cycle is moving, and that ratio could narrow down into the mid 70s, where it
Yeah.
has been just within the last year, about 73 or 74 ounces of silver to equal an ounce of gold, which would put, if gold doesn't go anywhere from here, that would put silver close to $50 an ounce, which is its previous all-time high.
I see. I think it will be easily to reach out $50 per ounce for the silver. Yeah, will be easy to reach it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I do
Yeah.
agree with that.
Do
Yeah.
you think the gold price will reach 4,000 per ounce by end of this year?
That is something I said was possible, 3, 4 months ago. It's a
Okay.
little aggressive, but the way the market's shaping up, it could very easily reach 4,000 this year. I think we'll
Hmm.
probably get to 3,800 pretty easily, especially if the Fed starts to cut rates,
Right.
because usually we see bigger gains once the Fed actually confirms that they're in a rate cutting cycle than we see before they telegraph that they're going to cut rates. And right now we're between the two. We're taping this on Thursday, September 4th, and we're going to get the jobs report on Friday, September 5th, which is tomorrow. And if the
Okay.
jobs report is weak, that will all but confirm that the Fed will start to cut rates. Now, how much and how fast they cut rates will make a difference in how high the gold price goes in this market.
Yes.
Yes.
I think yes, through the history, people always come back to gold and silver. Yeah, and the clock is ticking, and I'm sure we will come back, and you will come back, and we'll talk about more gold and silver. Yeah, so thank you so much. Please let us know where we can find you and why we should trust your company.
Well, thanks, Annabelle. My company is American Gold Exchange. That's our banner above my head. Our website is amer.com. gold.com. We have live, transparent pricing, and we only deal in the most widely traded, competitively priced, and most importantly for our clients, easily sellable modern bullion items made by the major refineries and the major sovereign mints. It's a very competitive market. Our prices are very competitive. I've been in the business 45 years. This is my entire career since I got out of college. I'm a past president of the Professional Numismatists Guild, which is the leading organization of rare coin dealers in the country. And I've helped the government, the CFTC, Commodities Futures Trading, the CFTC, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, as an expert witness in a couple of cases where they've accused several precious metals dealers of being predatory in their pricing, particularly with elderly investors. One case was settled and the other case is pending. So I'm going to have to give testimony in a trial where I'm the expert witness for the government. So I'm trying to give back in ways that I can to the industry that's been good to me. And we have an impeccable national reputation, which is the most important thing any precious metals dealer can have, is a good reputation. If you find a dealer that doesn't have a good reputation, find another dealer.
Yes,
it's pretty
that's
simple.
You. Will be you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dana. And hopefully I will talk again in my channel soon.
Thank you, Annabelle. I appreciate you having me on. It's been
Thank
fun.
you. Bye. Hello，刚刚短短20分钟，我 interview Dana 的话，我们听到了很多很多的信息，然后这些信息呢都是非常宝贵的。然后呢，我其实做这个频道的目的呢，也就是为了增加海外华人的财商。然后呢，因为海外华人移民美国以后呢，基本上就是在语言啦、信息呀，包括这个距离位置的这些限制，反而发现来了海外以后呢，实际上这个信息是倒退的。所以这就是为什么我做这个频道的目的。那么我把这个 Dana 请来呢，是非常不容易的。然后他是一个在美国的黄金的交易这个行业里面呢是非常非常资深的。本身他的公司呢也已经成立有40年以上。然后呢，今天这个频道呢，它主要就是讲了就是黄金为什么就是5000年以来一直就是经久不衰。原因呢，它就是说，就是主要是因为它的这个稀缺性，然后呢易携带，然后再就是它的不会被磨损。甚至呢，它可以去把它融化掉以后，再分成很多很多小的 piece。所以呢，因为这个原因呢，造成这个黄金呢，就是5000年来一直就是被这个人类呢所接受。然后呢，他又谈到了就是黄金呢为什么这个价钱这么高？然后呢，主要是几个因素都集中在一起。最主要的就是这个债务的这个印钞的这个机器一直在运作，所以呢，这个债务是只会增加不会减少。所以呢，造成大家对这个货币呢失去信心，然后对黄金呢就是非常的有信心，因为它的稀缺性。然后呢，再就是这个地缘政治，这个世界各个格局的就是日趋的就是比较紧张，而不是在合作。所以大家也认为在这种不确定的情况下呢，黄金的价格呢应该是比较保值的。然后呢，再就是这个关税啊，然后降息啊，种种其他的因素，所以造成大家呢就是都是看好黄金。所以呢，这就是这个今天这个节目呢的主要的这个中心思想，就是主要是帮助大家呢就是更加了解这个外面的整个世界的这个重金属它们的这个动向。好的，be legendary until next time。